The housing market in New England, specifically Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and southern New Hampshire, has been extremely competitive. The inventory is very low, which is driving prices up, and there's a lot of buyers and not a lot of sellers. So, not only are the prices exploding in the region, but a lot of people are trying to make their offers more competitive. And some get creative with certain types of closing dates and that kind of stuff. But one thing that we're seeing more and more often are people foregoing or waiving a home inspection. Waiving a home inspection is not for everybody, especially somebody who may be a first-time home buyer or not incredibly aware of the idiosyncrasies of owning a home. So what is happening in our industry is that we're finding that a lot of people get into the P&S process where they have an accepted offer and they have about 4 or 5 days to basically go through the house to make sure everything is what they want it to be before they have any sort of contingencies put on to the sale. And because a lot of these home buyers are waiving their home inspection, they don't have an opportunity to kind of go through the house with a fine-tooth comb to find things that might be both on the minor scale and also on a major issue scale as well. Relative to foundation issues, I can speak to a couple cases here very recently where there was a home buyer in a fieldstone foundation, and they loved the house, and it was in towards Boston. And it was great. They had an offer accepted, waived a home inspection, and then they asked, hey, would you guys come in to look at the foundation? So we didn't have an opportunity to meet the time window because it was only a 24-hour time window, but we were able to get some from the realtor and also from the prospective buyers. And come to find out that this foundation had some major structural issues with it. That would have been very easily caught by a home inspector to flag it as a deficiency to the home. But these people were kind of locked in at this point, and it actually ended up being well beyond our scope of repairs, and it was in the order of $30,000 worth of repairs. So what we're finding is that while trying to make a very competitive offer, home buyers are sometimes being stuck with major upgrades that are necessary, not just as a precaution, hey, you might want to think about this 5 to 10 years down the road, but immediate safety or structural concerns, roof concerns, plumbing concerns. So in what is happening in general is that because home inspections are being waived, industry experts in each field are asked to be brought in, which is tripling and quadrupling the cost of getting a guy out there as an expert to evaluate the plumbing or the electrical or the roof or the foundation or the siding or the windows. So you're trying to coordinate all these people coming in a 24 to 48 hour window. Not everyone can accommodate that because you're trying to coordinate industry experts, and you're also spending 3 to 4 times the amount just to get basically a consultation. So what we're finding is that most of the issues can be pretty well resolved, but there are a lot of cases where the home inspection would have caught some major bombs in the house that would inhibit somebody from really considering purchasing the house, rightfully so, unless they had the means to spend another $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on upgrades. Because that's the hidden danger of this, is that you're not necessarily, you may fall in love with the house, but are you expected to, and prepared to spend tens of thousands of dollars on repairs to safely live in the house? And that's what a home inspection is really for. And I understand that it is a competitive market, but it is a huge risk to take to own a house that it may or may not be able to move in right away because it may have some safety concerns as you live in there. So it's certainly something that you can weigh as an option to make yourself more competitive in the market. But in terms of what risks there are huge risks. And if you're not familiar in specific to foundation issues and what could be presented in a foundation issue, whether it's an old 1800s home or brand new construction, then you really need to make sure that you're getting somebody in there professionally, both a home inspector and or an industry expert, to evaluate that issue, because again, you don't want to be caught with a huge bill after you just already spent over asking on the house. So that's the reality of the situation. And obviously it's a personal choice, but something that you should weigh heavily as to whether or not it's the right choice for you.